Caffeinated conversations with Brooke Allen. Also figure out the resources that they offer. And there's so many important things that they do. So that was amazing. So we were able to be down there on Monday, and then we took a little break on Tuesday and Thursday. But then um, Thursday we had our ribbon cutting for the show, which was super exciting. It's all about the big scissors and the ribbon, so that was awesome. And a big thanks to the Lakes Chamber of Commerce. They really are wonderful, Wendy and Sydney over there. And the show even received a special tribute from the state. So that was kind of cool. I know, right?
Cool.
I was
Very
like,
impressive.
Look, Mom, look what I got, right? So that was kind of cool. And then after that ribbon cutting, I actually drove to Lansing to MC the event for MASC, which is Michigan Alliance of Senior Centers. And it was their first awards of excellence. And that was really amazing. They do amazing work out there. And it was so cool to network. And I even got invited to cover a story up in the UP. So hopefully the snow hasn't started yet, right? And I'll get there. So that was Thursday. And then Saturday, of course, was the Hope for Holiday Gala with the Volunteers of America, Michigan again. And that was beautiful at the M1 Concourse, an amazing evening. So that is the highlight of my week. And I'm going to admit something, because I know a lot of people say, I see you everywhere. It's so glamorous. You do so much. You're always, you're out and about doing all these fancy things. But I have to tell you, and I think maybe you two know this, the mom guilt, it is real, right?
Yes.
Because I literally had to switch days with my ex-husband. I also had to loop my mom in, right? I'm like, Mom, I need you to take them for like one night. And so that was kind of tough. So I hadn't really seen them all last week. So I saw them last week. They were supposed to go to my ex-husband, and they got in the car and they were like, oh, but we haven't seen you all week. We need to stay. And I'm like, that means I need to go to the grocery store and get lunch.
Right.
So that is kind of how everything went. But I do want to say that the mom guilt, it is real. You're a therapist. Maybe you can help me out with this later. But it is one of those things that we have to admit is real.
Yes.
Right. And that we struggle with. But they also need to understand that we have to get stuff done. Right.
Very much
So it is kind of a hard balance.
Yes, a balancing act.
It is a balancing act. And Dr. Christina is with me, and Juliana is here too. And so, Doctor, you are here because our act of kindness, our caffeinated act of kindness, is on the Wings of Angels.
Yes.
And you and JoJo doesn't mind that I say this.
No, she does not mind.
No. So you are her therapist.
Yes, I am.
And you have been since the beginning.
Yes, I have. So
Okay.
It's been a pleasure to work with JoJo. I think what has been really amazing to watch is just her journey to find herself, to find her voice, to be able to have the kind of life that she wanted to have, and leaving a life of abuse. And then to watch her give birth to On the Wings of Angels,
Right.
And how she is helping so many women across the state, in our area, in our community. And it's just really powerful to watch her do that.
So on the Wings of Angels, how would you, for people who may not be familiar, tell me what they do?
Sure. We are a no red nonprofit. So we like to help women and men who are trying to get out of situations of domestic violence. We offer food, clothing, if you need a hotel for a night, if you need, we help with legal expenses. We also help with therapy expenses. Anything that somebody who is trying to leave their situation, if they need, you can visit our website. There's a form to fill out, and then we figure out how we can best meet your needs.
So I think too, and we'll loop you in a minute, Juliana,
fine.
just
Yes.
because you're tied into this as well. But
Yep.
what's so interesting is that, people don't know, you may suspect somebody that
Yes.
is a victim and you don't know how to help them.
Mhm.
So as a therapist, how do you do that?
Well, I think obviously when people get to my office, they're looking for help. They're ready to do that. They have the courage or the strength to be able to say, I need help from a professional. A lot of times, though, I think people are suffering in silence. And as friends or people in the community, there are things you can look for. Look to see if their personality has changed. If they used to be kind of outgoing and social, and now they're not as social. Look and see how if they seem more anxious or hypervigilant about things, just little things. Maybe they're wearing different clothing. Maybe it's the summer and they're wearing long sleeves to hide bruises. Maybe there's, they're like, oh, I have, they're checking the time a lot or checking their phone because maybe their partner is making a lot of demands on when they need to be home or what they need to be doing. Those are kinds of things you can be looking for. And then you just want to offer a listening ear, asking them how they're doing, being non-judgmental about their situation.
What is something that you shouldn't say to someone?
You don't want to say, well, you should just leave. Why don't you just leave? Because it's not that simple to leave. And especially when, if there are children involved, it's really, you can't just pick up and leave with your kids as much as you want to. So you can't, I would say that is the biggest thing to not say.
Okay.
Why don't you just leave? Because it's really not that simple.
not
It's
that
very
simple.
complicated.
And it's dangerous.
It can be
I mean-
dangerous. If someone tries to leave, their partner could escalate. You don't always know the situation. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And even for the people I work with, I don't always know what goes on behind closed doors. So you have to be mindful of that. So you want to make sure that they're safe. You can ask, do you feel safe? If they say no, then you can help them try to find ways to be able to be safe. But
What if you know that somebody is a victim of domestic violence, but they're kind of stuck and you want to help them?
I think you just have to be there. You just have to listen. You have to offer your friendship. You can't force anyone to do something that they're not ready to do. You can let them know that when they're ready to leave, you're willing to help them. If there's anything they need from you, you're willing to do that. But people, they have to want to do it. They have to be able to say, I'm ready to make that step. Like when JoJo called me, she had already decided to leave and had made steps to leave, and then she needed the help, but she had to ask for others for help but that was on her terms and when she decided she had had enough.
And there's no shame in asking for help.
No shame
Right.
whatsoever. We all need help. I mean, there are times we all need a little bit of assistance from our friends, our community.
Right. So that's where Juliana comes in,
Yes.
because Juliana, you met JoJo at the show you were on
I think February.
because we're at the coffee shop in Ferndale, right?
Yep.
So I remember every coffee shop.
Yes.
So what is so interesting is you are a professional organizer. You are
Yes.
the owner of Serenity at Home.
Yep.
And you kind of talk about, organizing, the holidays are coming. You get more stuff in than you then you push out. But this all comes into play too, because I know that when somebody's getting ready to leave an abusive situation, it's kind of like, what do they take with them?
Right.
Right. And
Right. And I think just, obviously I would assume it depends a lot on the circumstance of when they're absolutely leaving. And I think the general feeling is that oftentimes people leave with very little. And
Definitely.
so where we kind of really work, so I work with clients all the time who are getting rid of things and really needing to edit. And, that's a lot of what we do with our clients is we work with them to not only decide what to get rid of, but then trying to find the perfect home for those items. And that's where we as a company love to partner with different organizations. And this one is just,
And you have
near-
partnered with On the Wings of Angels,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
that is
So
so
thankfully.
we are, yes, we're helping them kind of set things up and how to kind of manage the influx of everything that's going to come in, which is going to be amazing, and maybe some different ways to organize everything. But then really working with our clients who sometimes just need that little nudge on how to get rid of something to finally let go.
Mhm.
And when they know it's going to a good
It's
organization,
a little easy.
a lot of times that's the thing that helps them say, okay, you know what? It's time. I haven't worn this in a long time. It's still great. Let somebody else have it. Bless that person. And especially the women that you're working with, they need these things. And it just doesn't help anyone to be sitting in a closet, getting dusty.
taking space,
No,
right? So
right.
that is what On the Wings of Angels
Yes.
is happening, right? There's a big
yes.
warehouse.
We are doing a clothing drive, and actually donations are able to be dropped off this week at a warehouse in Troy. I don't
Mhm.
know the address off the top of my head, but we're accepting any gently used women's clothing, children's clothing, toys, books, games, toiletries. Honestly, we'll take anything.
And this is kind of in preparation for the holidays, too,
Yes,
right?
it's in
So-
preparation for the holidays.
Okay.
The holidays are really, let's face it, the holidays are a difficult time for everyone, right?
Yes.
They're so
Very much.
stressful. But when we think about women and children in need, it's an especially difficult time. So what we're doing is we're collecting all of these items, and with the help of Juliana and her company, we're going to be able to organize everything and actually set up a shop
That's cool.
for these women to come. They don't have to pay anything, but they can go through the warehouse and pick whatever they feel they need. And they're going to be able to take it home with them, take it wherever they are.
And they could even take it home and wrap it.
They can
right?
take
If
it
it's
home
a-
and wrap
if
it
it's
for
a
their
gift
kids.
for a
Like, yes,
child or-
we're collecting toys and games. So if they are looking for some Christmas gifts, they can do that. All free of charge. We will have security at the warehouse. So these women can come without fear and just be able to shop. We'll have one of volunteers be able to walk with them around and help them just get whatever they need to get. So I think that's going to be a really amazing thing that we'll be able to do for these
so
for this
absolutely.
community.
And this is also the show. So obviously today, I know people brought some things
Okay, great.
today, and then next week, and then the After Dark show. We will also be collecting
Great.
during that too. So I'm super
Yeah.
excited to be a part of this. And it's just, thank you so much.
Thank
Do you have a
you.
piece of lasting advice for just surviving the holidays in general?
I think the most important thing is to breathe. And make sure you take a little bit of time to take care of yourself. So whether it's a cup of tea at night or making a phone call to a friend, but just being good to yourself during this time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're
Dr.
welcome.
Christie. I
Thank you
appreciate it.
for having us.
No, my pleasure.
So exciting.
It was.
So Juliana, okay,
Yeah.
so the holidays are coming up, and
Yes.
people do want to get rid of stuff, and
We certainly recommend that.
right, and so
Yep.
that's kind of what you do. And I thought this was kind of a cool idea. We're talking about gifts to some degree. People could actually get a gift card for your service to give to someone
Yes.
else, right?
Yes.
So my mom, in a sense, could give me the gift card, and I could use you.
I think that would be a great idea. Hopefully your mom is listening right now.
Exactly.
She can give me a call.
Exactly.
I'll set her up. Yes.
But that's an option, and
Yes.
and
for
how
sure.
cool for somebody to get that, because it's not something that you think you're going to do yourself.
Right. Or I think a lot of times people think it's something, oh, it's not that hard. I can do this myself. And then they walk into that room that's just overflowing with stuff. And then oftentimes they look at it, they don't know where to start. They close the door and walk away.
Right.
And so, we really can look at that space and go, oh, wow, this will,
Because your objective, that's a huge thing.
Yes.
Right?
We are not emotionally attached to anything. And so it makes that much easier, because that is one of the things that for many people is the struggle, is to let go of something that they have an attachment to, even though they don't use it anymore. They're never going to use it again.
Mhm.
But there's something saying, "Ugh, but what if maybe I want it
Maybe one
sometime."
day,
One
or
day.
yeah, for sure.
And which is where like On the Wings of Angels now, like when we're talking about clothing and things for our kids, like you're going to change someone's life instead of that sitting in the back of a closet never being used.
Right.
And the other thing is, for so many people, the stress that clutter causes is really overwhelming for them.
Mhm.
And that really, can be very much a mental health challenge
sure.
too, right? And so having somebody come in, a company or whomever,
Mhm.
and that just can kind of help you take those spaces that cause you so much stress and just help you let go of things, how to organize things, and really, it can be a life-changing experience for people. And yeah, I mean, I love what I do because it's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
everything that you do. And she actually, because during the live show, because we have a live audience, we have giveaways, and we're actually going to do it real quick
Yes.
because Juliana actually brought a $50 gift card from the Container Store.
Yeah.
So Juliana, pick a number between 1 and what are we doing? 11. 1 and 11.
7.
Who's 7? Is anyone sitting in number 7?
3.
Okay, who's 3?
You're 3.
All right.
All right.
$50 gift
He's
card.
like, what? Luke just got a $50 gift card. So excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Oh, you can hand it to him right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Wow,
there you
thank
go.
so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's so much-
absolutely.
It's so much fun to come to the show.
Absolutely.
All
Get
right.
to give away good
I know,
things.
right? So thank you, Juliana. And of course,
absolutely.
I'll be seeing you soon. Yes,
Yes.
I will be seeing you soon. More on that coming up later, right?
Our little secret.
Our little
right now.
secret for right now, but I will
Yeah.
be seeing you later. Okay. So
Sure
thank
will.
you so much
All
for
right.
everything you do.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay.
Okay, so Dr. Sol Kogan, you are in the house.
I'm here.
You are here. You are here. So thanks so much for joining us. So tell me, okay, the Nerve and Disc Institute. Back.
Back, neck, sciatic pain.
Okay.
We treat people that have severe back or neck problems or sciatica as a result of herniated disc, bulging disc, degenerative disc disease, or stenosis.
Mhm.
Traditionally, these problems, if you had one of these problems, you really only had a couple options. One is to live with it.
Okay.
You
Deal.
know, the problem with living with it, besides the pain, is it's degenerative.
Okay.
Second option is to manage it. A lot of ways to manage it. You can
Okay.
take anti-inflammatories, painkillers, physical therapy, chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, epidurals, high dose laser, and any and all these things can help you feel better for a short time or a little bit longer. None of them are going to do anything to repair the disc. They can help you feel better, but it doesn't fix the problem.
Okay.
The only corrective option that was widely used up until about a decade ago or so was surgery. The problem with spine surgery is it doesn't have a great success rate,
Mhm.
and it always leaves the spine less stable than it was. So we've come up with technology that's proprietary to us that actually repairs those problems.
Right.
And
I'm looking
allows
for the
pe-
name. Is it Spine Force?
Well, no,
Or is
spine,
that-
spine
that's-
force is the new thing.
That's
So,
the new thing.
so
Okay.
intradisc neutrosis is our process that we use to repair discs. The machine is called Dislogic, and it's proprietary to us. And then
Okay.
actually we can see pre and post radiographic or MRI changes.
Mhm.
We had a clinical study done in 2015, done by an independent researcher, that showed better than a 95% success rate.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
so-
And I know, I mean, like my sister-in-law, I have hip surgery and sciatica and all. I mean, it affects the way you live.
It is horrible.
And of course, you had your own issue,
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
which
you
is why
have-
I paired you and Paris together, because Paris is a director, a producer. But one of his documentaries was about his own illness.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Oh, that's right. You're
Yeah,
his guy. aren't you?
I know Paris. I was thrilled to see him. He's a great guy, but yeah, I know firsthand. I mean, I had some problems years ago that we probably don't have time to talk about.
Right.
But last 2 weeks in August, I was skiing in South America with my son,
Mhm.
and we were backcountry skiing cliffs. And he corrected me the other day. I said 20 foot. He said 15. But
You
anyways,
know.
we're jumping cliffs, and I'm walking and I felt a pop in my back. And unfortunately, I know too much. And I knew right then when I felt that pain going down my leg, I had a herniated disc. And thank God it was the end of the trip. I only had
Okay.
3 days left, but I didn't sleep for a week. Came back here the day before Labor Day, day after Labor Day, started treatment. And within a few weeks, I was 60% better. I mean, as opposed to surgery was
Mhm.
what I would have thought of. I would have done anything at
To
that
get rid of
time.
the pain.
And then I had to think of a way, what do I do to make sure this doesn't come back again? Because my son has big ski aspirations and I want to be there with him.
Mhm.
You're talking about guilty parent.
I know,
I want to be
right?
there right with him. And so I'm going to continue to jump those cliffs and ski backcountry with him.
Right.
And I have to be able to do things that I tell my patients not to do.
Mm.
So we did some research and brought in a device called Spine Force from
Very good.
France,
Okay.
which is a really unique machine. It's a 3-dimensional dynamic trainer for spine.
Mhm.
And it actually is the only way we found that you can strengthen the 180 muscles that support your core and spine in a dynamic way with real-time feedback. So, if I told you I'm 9 weeks out from my injury, if I told you I'm 100% better, I'd be lying. I'm 110.
Really?
I feel better, faster, stronger than I did before. And the nice thing about this machine is it's only a few minutes, a couple times a week, and it creates imbalance so you can strengthen these muscles and some muscle memory with your brain.
Mhm.
And the idea is to make it so you can fix the problem for a lifetime.
Okay. Well, you're up and running around and doing good, huh?
A week from Wednesday, I'll be in Utah skiing. So, and if you asked me that 3 months
You'd be like,
ago,
no, it's not happening.
I would be like, I don't know if I'm ever going to
Park
ski
City?
again. Park City.
Oh, see, I guess so, huh?
Yeah.
How's that, Paris?
Amazing.
All right. So here is Paris Jones, and it's so funny. I had no idea you two knew each other. You go way back. Okay, so Paris, you are a director, a producer. You do so much. What are you working on now?
So we just wrapped on a female-led suspense crime thriller.
Oh, any major names? Can you tell me?
No, everybody's local.
Okay,
but
awesome.
really, really good talent.
Okay,
Really good up-and-coming talent that you
Mhm.
will be seeing.
okay. And then you, I ran into you like a month ago, and you had
Yeah.
said, crime and horror films are like all the
Not
rage.
really horror, well,
Is it
the ones
like
that we're
scary?
doing more thriller,
Okay,
like
so
suspense thriller.
what's the
um,
difference between
Well,
thriller?
horror is just like more gore,
Like,
yeah, more stuff like that, and it can be, witches, ghosts, and stuff like that.
Okay.
We're not doing that.
You're not doing that.
We're just doing, just stories that have that element of, suspense, mystery,
Right.
thriller. Trying to take it back to the 90s, like the 90s.
The
style
90s
focus.
style, right?
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so how long have you been in this industry?
Oh, for years. I mean, I went to school for film and television in
Mhm.
New York City, and basically started my film company, Paris Films,
Mhm.
in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how has it been? I mean, I know in Michigan it's ebbed and flowed, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Because there was a time here where it was
Yep.
booming,
it was.
it was thriving. That was like in 2000 and what was it, 8, 9?
Mm-hmm.
That's when they had the big film incentives.
Right.
But they did take that away. So now, a lot of independence. You have to really kind of do it yourself.
Right.
And it's been really great, for us. And we changed it because our, primary goal for our films is character-driven stories,
Mhm.
real life stuff that people could connect to.
Right.
It was like more drama we were doing.
Okay.
But then as the years went by and we're like, okay, we have to start selling,
Mhm.
our content.
Right.
So we kind of said, okay, how can we still keep it entertaining, still keep that message,
Mhm.
but add some
Spice?
some spice, yes. A little
Is that the right
element.
word? I don't know. Maybe
No,
not.
this is good. So we took that, and it's been really beneficial right now. We've been selling a ton of our content
Mhm.
to Tubi. Tubi's one of our big
Yeah, Tubi is
players.
a big player, right?
It's a big player right now for us. And Lifetime. We have a film on Lifetime right
Yes.
now
Tell me about that.
called The Past Comes Knocking.
Oh,
So
and we all know that happens, right?
listen, that happens to a lot of us. So, but this one, it's a good one. And then we
Okay.
have a bunch coming up.
Right.
But
Okay, so I know a lot of people want to know how you cast your movies. I mean, they are local,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We do sometimes we do like kind of handpick from seeing other people's work.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go out, we'll look, we're like, if I'm writing a story and there's a certain character, I'll look up, some of the actors
Mhm.
online or look at some agencies because they have their actors, their talent listed. So I'll do that. And then we'll do some open casting for some
Okay.
talent.
So,
Um,
what do you say to somebody who's an aspiring actor in Michigan?
So definitely take classes, but from a reputable person.
Okay, so how do you know? I mean, I know how you can tell a reputable person, but for the
Well,
average person?
You got to really do your research and see where they've been, and where they went to school at, where they taught beforehand. Because a lot of people are coming here and trying to do some workshops.
Hmm. And they're not legit, right?
It's not legit. And
What
it's
about
like a
for
scam.
what about for kids who want to become actors who are
So
young?
kids, there's a few programs that are here. I know Rich Goteri is
Mhm.
really
Yes,
good.
he's good.
He's really good with kids.
Hmm.
That's really the
Okay, that's okay to say. Is he in Ferndale?
yes.
Yes, right. Okay.
He's in Ferndale.
Okay.
And we have yeah, that's really the only ones,
Okay.
that are here. But then there's a few other workshops as far as, like I said, for the adults. You just got to really, do the research.
And what about for somebody who wants to be a director?
So, director, there's not that many programs out here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be open and honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the school that my partner went to,
Mhm.
which is called MPI, Motion Picture Institute.
Yeah.
You can actually hands-on, like literally, they show you, like right on the set,
Okay.
to how to do things,
Right.
just
Slate, man, slate.
Yeah, doing everything. You go there and
Right.
you're right on the scene.
That's cool.
You're not gonna.
You're not going to walk in and not know what to expect,
No,
right?
no.
Because that can be horrible.
No, because at the end of the day, people want to be hands-on. They want to be on a set. They want to do that. Sometimes the classes are just not giving you that.
Right. And
So
and if you have a passion for it, you want
You
you
wanna
want
do
to
it.
soak it all in and you want to do it and experience it. And sometimes you're in a class and you're like, this is not.
no, people want to be on set. They want to, know the certain talk.
The lingo and
The
everything.
lingo, yes.
Right.
So you have to just be out there.
Right.
That is key. That's what I try to, tell people.
So funny story real quick. I went to California to pursue acting. I mean, that was always my passion, but I had a speech impediment. It was a big deal and I managed to overcome it. But I moved to California, and do you know the year I moved to California, my uncle got cast in Kennedy that was done here.
Mm.
And so I was like, are you kidding me? I just moved like 2,500 miles away
No, but
to
that's-
pursue acting. And then but that was when it was hot here. And, he ended up doing like 2 or 3 movies.
It happens like that. I mean, you can move to New York City, and then they're casting of something big in Atlanta.
Right.
Atlanta, and then of course California.
Yep. It's
You've been in
ongoing.
Chicago.
Right. Yeah.
Chicago's
Chicago's way hot.
Chicago. Is,
Okay. So when's your next film? And
So we have some stuff coming up in January.
okay.
Another thriller.
Mm-hmm,
We have my documentary dropping,
mm-hmm.
which is about my journey, my cancer
Yes, your
journey.
cancer
It's
journey.
called Strong, Living with Multiple Myeloma. And it just documents my journey on what happened with me. So I'm excited about that one and for everyone to see that.
Yeah, me too. And
So-
it's always so great to see you. And
Always good seeing you.
real quick. So this is George. George is a hair guy.
I am.
So, do you know George?
I don't.
Oh,
See.
See.
Well, see, you don't need to know George. Okay. Because I was thinking, you might need someone to do hair, but never mind.
Here we go, here we
We already had your doctor on. Never mind.
go, here we go.
So this is George Nikolai. And George, of course, everyone knows you from Six Salon, right?
Mhm.
In Birmingham. And but you are also the co-founder of Dianfly.
Dianfly, right.
So I admit, and I have told you this myself
Mm-hmm.
in person, that when I first saw Dianfly, I don't know if you know what Dianfly is,
No.
but I thought it was like a fish fly place,
Mhm.
right? Because I was like, what is that? I don't
What
get
is
that.
it, right?
Yeah, what is it? So tell me what it is.
So Dianfly is different. There was never another option. Our industry, for coloring hair, it was either you went into a salon, spend a couple hours at a couple $100, or you bought a box color at a store.
Right.
And again, unless people know what it is and are educated, when you buy a box color, you get like 2 ingredients. You get an activator and a solid color,
And blue gloves.
then gloves. And I always joke with the staff, I'm like, it should come with some rosary too. Like you're praying that this is going to turn out well, because like you're hoping and praying that it's going to look like the box.
Right.
Well, when we started Dianfly, the idea was to give people another option of how I can get it done, when I can get it done, and how fast I can get it done.
Right.
And so that's kind of how I was looking at our industry. Our industry was changing. People needed something a little different. You weren't necessarily going to a salon just for your nails. You went to nail places. You weren't going to a salon just for waxing. You went to a wax place. Facials. You go to a facials. Like it was just a little different.
Everything has its thing, right?
Everything
It's-
had its place. And I looked at it as like, this is another perfect spot to add something different to what we're doing.
Mhm.
And it turned out like it started off like gangbusters. It was just that difference that we were making, but explaining what we are.
Mhm.
Like you said, I don't know what we're not it's not another salon.
No,
We
it's
strictly do color.
And so that is what's so cool about this, because it's strictly color. You can walk in and you have 7 locations.
Yes.
So 7 locations. And the whole idea that you can be anywhere and think, oh, you know what? I don't have time to go see my usual stylist. And your
My wife
color-
is the perfect
Right?
person for this. She's like, I can come to 6 and spend a couple hours. I don't have the time. She's like, I get in my car, I pull up my app. She has to pass 2 different stores on the way home.
Mhm.
She's like, hey, I could be anywhere at 4:00. She looks at which location. She goes in, she sits down. They see that she's there. Her formula, we have our formulas in a cloud-based system. So you can go to any one of our locations and your color follows you and not your colorist. Because here we are, we're like, we have this connection to our color, but also our colorist.
Right.
But if you have your connection to just the color, now you feel like you can go kind of anywhere and it's about you and your time. Like everything's about timing.
It
Time,
is, for
time,
sure.
time. We got stuff. We got kids. We have
As Paris
jobs,
is
we
looking
have-
at me like, I gotta go, man.
no, but I mean, it's something different. I've been in the industry for over 30 years.
Mhm.
Crazy to me. So doing something different, not the norm, was shaking our industry up just enough because we're offering something different.
And I mean, you mentioned time, but there are those times like I consider Heather, who does my hair,
Mhm.
like my therapist,
Of course.
right? Because you talk all the time and you know them and you spend hours
Mhm.
with them. But there's sometimes if I'm in a bad mood,
Mhm.
I'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to go somewhere where
I think we
knows me."
talked
And
about
we
this.
did talk about this.
That there's times that a client, I always say like read the room kind of a thing.
Yep.
Read what your chair is all about. I always say there's certain times where a client doesn't want to talk. And that's perfect.
Mhm.
That's okay with me sometimes too, because this
So
kind
I
of
don't
lets
want to
me
talk to you either.
like this lets you kind of get in your own, do what you're supposed to be doing and doing
Right.
it right.
Right, for sure.
But like I said, I wanted to do Dye and Fly just a little bit different. And when your colorist mixes your color, she like disappears, right? She's in the back room
Yeah.
mixing your color.
Right.
Everything was done so where the
Like secret.
client can see everything happening. When someone looks at a hair color, it's not one tone. There's nothing like that. There's no such thing. When we mix in front of Dye and Fly, everything's customized for you.
It's like an open bar.
It's an open
really.
bar. So you're watching your colorist like mixing everything and rashing everything out. So you're like, wow, that's kind of interesting how it's
Right.
done.
Right. And you're actually, you're witnessing it.
Exactly. And watching them do it makes you feel a
kinda
little bit
cool.
more, like, wow, they
It's like
really
watching a bartender mix a drink.
100%. Like it's exactly, they know exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it. All of our colorists are board certified. We train like crazy.
Right.
We have training every other month
Okay.
and where it's advanced.
Right.
I always tell the colorist, I'm like, in a regular salon, you're doing colors and cuts. So in between your clients, you're throwing a couple of haircuts. At Dye and Fly, all you're doing is specializing in color. So you're getting a lot of colors back to back to back to back.
And right. And it's like, come on, man, zip it through.
Well, it's all about your time, but it's giving that client that like, I don't have to rush to go do this. It's like, all right, I can come in at this time or this time or this time,
Right.
or this place or this place or this place.
And the perimeter. And Cassidy is here.
Hello.
Hi, Cassidy. Thank you. And you are actually a franchisee
Yes.
and a stylist.
Yes.
Okay. And you have beautiful hair, by the way.
Thank you.
So, as a woman who has one of these locations, how convenient is it?
It's amazing.
It is,
Get your
right?
hair done whenever you want. Well, we're not too busy, but
Right. But also the hours.
convenient.
You guys are open, is it 7 days a week?
yes.
Okay. And open till what, 9 o'clock at
I
night?
think it's 9
Yeah.
o'clock,
Right? 9
most
o'clock
days.
sometimes. So to me, it's kind of like, okay, well, the kids have scouts or a game or something, and I can drop them off and then I can go on and get my color retouched.
I also
perfect,
always
right?
think that it's not about taking you away from your colorist or your stylist.
Right.
It's about us being that bridge where you just can't get in with George. Let's just say you're seeing me.
Yeah, you're a tough guy to
Yeah,
get
you
into,
can't
right?
get-
I mean,
You can't get in with me. Well, I can't wait another week and I just need to get something done. We're there to help. That's what we're also there for.
and especially like special occasions,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, how often do men come in to
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
do they?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So I do have to tell you that my 12-year-old, I have the twins, and my 12-year-old daughter is like, yesterday, she says, I want hot pink hair.
Aw.
And I'm like, do you? And she's like, where am I going to go get hot pink hair? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yes.
And then I'm like, I'll ask George and Cassidy.
Absolutely. No problem.
Last year they actually for the Lions playoffs.
I
they
remember.
bleached and did a lot of people came in.
For the blue,
blue
right?
For the
Yeah.
blue.
Yep.
Right.
I'm expecting you might see that again this year. Do
I'm
you
hoping.
think?
I'm hoping. Knock
Right?
on wood. We were there yesterday. So it was a great
Okay.
game yesterday too.
All right. And then you had actually been at the game after you were on Fox, I think, that
Yes.
day, right?
Yes. So we
And
were at the
people
game.
were like,
Yeah. So I
saying-
was walking up to grab something to drink, and this guy poked me. He's like, "Nice job on TV today." I was like, "Wow, that's awesome."
you didn't even have blue
Yeah.
hair.
I didn't have the blue hair. The blue hair was somewhere else.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was, huh? So for you, how has this been to to own this and to run it and to be a stylist? So you're right in there.
I mean, it's been good. I feel like being a stylist helps you kind of know what's going on and relating to them, the
Mhm.
stylists that work there. It's been good. I mean, I'm still learning, definitely, but
Right, for
my
sure.
boyfriend's a little bit better at all of it. But it's good
Right.
to learn from George and from him.
Well,
Because George
as
is the guy.
as a
right?
style as a
George is
stylist,
the
thank you. As a stylist and a colorist, when you're working with people on the floor, they look at you a little different than being the boss in the back room.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Can relate a little bit better.
Right, for sure. So are you ever looking for stylists?
We're always looking for
Are you?
stylists.
Okay, because they're trained. I
That's
mean, they're-
another great thing. So when someone leaves our industry for a while, they kind of lose their client base. And then they don't feel like they want to get back into the scene because then they have to re-up in client base. With Die and Fly, we're like plug in.
Yeah.
Like as long as you know what you're doing,
Mhm.
we found a home for you.
Is there a test?
No.
No.
Of course there's a test.
Like, is there a test?
I'm testing you all the time.
I know you are. I know you are. Okay, so if a stylist was looking for a new
Mm-hmm.
position and Die and Fly sounded like a good idea, what do they do?
Give just call our main number and we'll go from there.
Okay.
And we'll just kind of pass it on where you're closest to which store
Mhm.
and then feed that store.
Okay, there are 7 locations, and I know I'm super familiar with the Royal Oak one just because I shop in that
Yes,
plaza
it's close
all
for
the
you,
time. It's
right.
close. It's super close. But where are your other locations?
Macomb, Shelby, Troy,
Bloomfield.
West Bloomfield, Royal Oak. I'm forgetting one somewhere.
That's it.
She's
I
on.
think,
That's
I'm
it.
trying to
I think
count,
that's
but
it.
I think that's it.
That's it. And okay, so men can come in, women can come in, kids can come
Absolutely.
in, right?
Mhm.
Because I know originally when I was learning more about Die and Fly, I thought, oh well, it's for the busy mom, the
Mhm.
working woman, but it's really for anybody who's in a time crunch.
It's
Yeah.
for everybody.
Right.
It really is.
It's something a little different. And I would love people just to come in and just check it out. Just see who we are, just to kind of we're awesome. We're a little different than the norm. So
Right.
it's something different for you.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this.
Mhm.
What about the cost? Because people, I
Right.
mean,
Of course. We're cost effective.
You are.
Our basis at our first colors start at $59. Our highlights go, I think our base colors are 59, then 69.
Okay.
So we're very cost effective, but
Yeah.
again, we're not cheap, but we're not.
well, no, but I mean, it's better than the box, right?
Right.
Which is
Oh,
like
yeah.
what, $13.99 in
Right.
CVS. and
Like
you're
I told you,
better
the,
alternative.
the box,
It's a
you're
lot
getting
more.
one tone, one developer, gloves, and hopefully rosary. Just to like pray. I hope it turns out.
like, and if it doesn't, try to get him with George.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out.
Exactly. Awesome. And of course, the holidays are coming up. People are going to be even more crunched for time. So this is the thing to do, man.
This is the time to do it. I mean, everybody's busy lives. This is what we're here for. We're here to help everybody out. Just enough.
Awesome. Thank you, George.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. Finally. Now, if I could only get that appointment with
Well,
you.
we'll work on it now.
All right. Yeah, whatever. Cassidy, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So, what do you say to someone, to another woman who is thinking about going into being a stylist?
I think definitely, I mean, take a lot of classes,
Mhm.
learn from a lot of other people, and
Are you
put it all
Are you
together.
ever nervous? To me, I think it would be horrifying to do somebody's hair and be like, oh my God, what if I do it?
But I think when you know
wrong?
what you're doing, I
I
feel like
know.
I always say, like, if I can't picture it in my head, I don't start it.
Okay.
And I'm pretty visual like that. I don't care if it's a cut or if it's a color. If I can't see it in my head,
You're not gonna
I pivot.
pivot. I love
Photos
that
are
word.
always good.
Oh, I was just going to ask you about
It's a big
photos
thing.
because I've heard other people say, "Do not bring me a photo and say
Oh,
that you want
I
to look
think
like
that's
Angelina
horrible.
Jolie."
No. I think that's horrible. I think that we have to bring photos because what's blonde to you might not be blonde to someone else.
Mhm.
You could both are blondes, but you're very different blondes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So having a visual is a wonderful thing.
Oh, so you guys both say,
Absolutely. I want a
yes
visual.
to pictures.
Definitely
Yes.
still have to check because sometimes people bring in 3 photos and they're completely different,
Okay.
and they're like, I like all of these, so still have to chat about it, but
Okay.
it's good.
Okay. So here's one more question for both of you. What do you do when somebody says, "I want this kind of haircut," and you know it's going to look awful?
I tell them
Be honest.
Oh, do you really?
Right.
Always be honest.
Always
Right.
be honest.
100%.
'Cause then
Okay.
they'll
I would
be
rather
mad
them
later
leave me
on.
for a reason like that
Mhm.
than leave me because I didn't tell them that it's going to be.
How do people respond to that?
I don't say it right away like you just said it. Like, I just kind of like butter them up a little bit more.
You're like,
I give
let
them
me show you
options.
this
Options,
picture,
yes,
right?
options,
Yeah.
options,
Okay. So
options.
people ever get like super mad?
No.
Okay.
No, because I always think that they know that I'm looking out for their benefit.
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted to just bring a paycheck in, I would just do whatever you want.
Right. For
But
sure.
that's not going to get my point across.
No. And you're not going to have a repeat customer. What about men? What's the new hot style for men?
I mean, I love my guys still wearing it nice and tight through the sides. They were a little longer on the top.
Mhm.
You know, when we color men, I try to divert guys from getting all over colors. I like gray blending because I think it looks better. I don't want a guy looking like, you know, let's put shoe polish on their head.
The
Come
whole,
on.
yeah. We won't name names.
You know, yeah. I want it to look natural. I never want someone to go, oh,
Oh.
you do this.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not my thing.
No,
Mhm.
definitely not. Okay. And what about kids? I have to tell you, my son got a haircut yesterday. I don't even know what it was. They were calling it a low tupper fade. I don't know. What was it? I was like, what is happening?
Good luck with that.
Well, did it look good? Or?
It's cute.
You're like, it's cute. He'll grow into it
Yeah.
like a puppy and paws.
Oh, Jason has a question.
I do. So we're going into winter right now. So a lot of people are going to be planning their vacations or ready to take their vacations. Would you suggest they make an appointment to get their hair done before? What if they're running late? Fly is probably a great place to pop into.
Fly is a great place. You had a couple questions there. First, when
Yeah.
it comes to blondes and my vacations, I always think like where they're going to go. If it's really like bright and sunny, I want to add a little bit of depth. So when they come back, they're not completely white. If they're a brunette, and I got to think about that color being washed out, the ocean, the sun, things like that beat up on a color, especially artificial colors.
So let them know. Let the
Yes.
colorists know where you're
Where
going.
you're going.
what
Yes,
you're
exactly.
doing, so
Absolutely.
That way they can treat your hair
Absolutely.
for it. Cool.
Absolutely.
We'll give you good products too.
I was
Help
just,
with
what?
that.
I was just going to ask about products because I know that there's just so many options out there, but you don't know what's good and what's bad.
Wow,
I mean, you guys-
I
you
lean
guys
on
do.
I lean
I-
on the professional, right? Whatever your colorist is using. I always talk about you know, when a client doesn't have any color on their hair, I really could care less what they're really using as long as it's somewhat okay.
Okay.
But when you're dealing with a color, the more sulfates there are in shampoos, sulfates are what lather, like the more it's washing hair out. So you have to be like really good about stuff like that. So always trying to use a color safe product.
Okay, so purple.
Purple.
Purple is my new shampoo.
Yeah.
Right?
But not all the
So
time,
good.
right?
We have
No,
Right.
products for you,
No.
actually.
See, I'll
Oh,
show. So, yeah,
Aw.
brought you some
And a
stuff.
gift card and products.
Oh, well, thank you.
The line, it's a very good repair line. So
Okay.
for us
Oh.
blondes, it's amazing.
You know what? Somebody was just talking about Wella the other
Mhm.
day because
great.
I think it was Barbie
Yeah.
because it was the
you
whole
guys
like,
can share.
we'll arm wrestle for it. Thank you guys so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Okay, so to go online to make an appointment at Die and Fly, 7 locations,
Mhm.
open late. How early do you guys open?
9:00.
Oh, 9. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
No, thank you. What do you think of my hair?
You're adorable.
Thank you.
Looks
I love the
great.
blonde.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Love.
Is there enough depth?
I would always add a little bit more,
A
but I
little
love.
bit more?
I like what you're going for. 'Cause
Okay, all
Good
right.
eye color too.
Oh, well, thank
Mhm.
you. Well, it's so funny. I was saying out there earlier that you always get nervous when you're going to see a hairstylist, plastic surgeon, whoever it may be. You're like, hi.
That's why I
you're
tell
fresh."
I tell the staff, you want to see when you see a client out, you want to go, that's my color or that's my cut,
Right.
and not like, look, that's my color. Same words, different meaning.
Different meaning, right? For sure. Like ducking behind the counter.
Yeah.
Well, seriously, thank you so much. I know you're so well known in the community. People love you.
I
And,
appreciate that.
it's always,
We have good people.
you do have good people. You have good people. You have good salons, good
Thank you.
stylists.
Thank you
everything.
so much. Thank you.
And a pleasure to meet you.
You
Finally,
as well.
Right? So thank
You
you.
as well. I heard
Yes.
great things.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And again, this is Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, everyone knows that the caffeinated part of this is a big deal to me. And this is so exciting because these two guys kind of fell in my lap. Not literally, of course, but so Luke and Evan, right? Coffee House.
Correct.
You are the founder
I am.
and you are the head roaster.
Right.
Okay. So how did this all start?
That's a long story. I don't know how much time you have, but no. So I started Coffee House about 7 years ago, and if you were to ask me what I wanted to do day one, I would have told you I wanted to open a really cool cafe. And that was it.
Okay.
And I was ready with that. I was complacent with that, and that was my thing. I was still in school. I was over in Grand Rapids in college. For some reason, started something in Detroit. A lot of driving on the
Okay, got
weekends
it.
to make everything happen.
Right.
But pretty soon after, you realize how expensive it is to start a cafe. And not only how expensive it is, but how many hats you have to wear
Yes.
to really know what to do. You have to be your plumber, your electrician, your GC, all of these things, right? And those things are costly, frankly.
Right.
And so for people like myself, I didn't have that experience, this lifetime of experience in
Mhm.
doing all of these different trades to make it happen. And frankly, I didn't have $1 billion,
I was going to say it takes a lot of money too. doesn't
and
it?
so Just like myself, a lot of people out there are frankly bootstrapping cafes. Most cafe owners are first-time business owners.
Okay.
And so instead of going out and chasing that and going down this rabbit hole, what we did is pivoted a little bit, and we provide a lot of services for new businesses. So
Okay.
of course we roast coffee, which is our big thing. You know, that's how we make money at the end of the day.
Right.
And that's what we love to do. But in the interim, you know, most of the places we work with are new businesses. So starting from the ground up before they even pour the concrete, if we can help them by providing them, you know, some of these consultory services and help them ultimately save money, it's a great relationship builder for the both of us. You know, they feel like they're getting helped out, and we're, you know, helping them avoid these costly mistakes. Like,
So the coffee that you guys go all over. I mean, this
Yes,
coffee is
yeah.
amazing, right? So
brought
you-
some, yeah.
Are those beans or are they ground?
These are beans.
I'm just gonna start
Uh-huh.
chewing on them.
I know, yeah, right.
So which blend is this?
So we brought two blends here. This is one from really like our favorite farm out there. It's Finca Las Lajas in Costa Rica, which is a farm that we go down to. We've been buying from them for years and years.
Mhm.
But we were down there in April of this year. Evan and I were having a blast. And it's just truly an amazing family that is doing some amazing work in the specialty coffee world. So not only do they make great coffee, but they're pushing others to make amazing coffee in Costa Rica as well.
That's very
And so we
cool.
have a Costa Rican here, and then we have an Ethiopian over there.
Is that the one you have?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Both of these coffees are examples of natural processes. Have you heard of that before?
I have, but explain it.
Yeah. So it's basically just a fermented style of producing coffee. Most coffee in the market, even the stuff that's labeled washed or honey,
Right.
is also fermented to some degree.
Okay.
But natural is like the most traditional form of fermented coffee, where they typically ferment it out on raised beds, or they'll do it in tanks. But it produces a fruity, flavorful coffee that really represents like coffee as a fruit
Okay.
or a seed within a fruit. So you get a lot of that natural flavor, a lot of the sweetness, a lot of the fruitiness. Both of these are naturals. The Costa Rica natural from Las Lajas is going to be your kind of like more delicate, sweet, kind of like expensive end
Okay.
of the naturals. And then this one's a little more reasonable. It's an anaerobic from Ethiopia, still very punchy and flavorful.
So which one is stronger? Or
It really depends on how you brew it. You know,
Really?
I think
Okay.
that's a big thing that I think people should talk about is a lot of that the flavors that you're looking for in coffee in your cup are so oftentimes contingent on the way that you make the coffee too.
Okay.
So whenever people ask for maybe a stronger cup, I always tell them to grind a little finer, for example. I think that's a really great way you can extract more out of it. But I think this flavor, like this one, is so punchy. Like this is just awesome.
is it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And in terms of actual caffeine, caffeine is roasted out of coffee.
Yeah.
So the lighter the coffee is, the higher caffeine
That
content
is so
it
crazy, right?
Yeah.
It just seems confusing.
Right. People think the opposite.
Yeah, it's
so
like,
many
oh, it's really
times.
dark, so that's really strong.
Right,
It's
yeah.
like not so much. Okay,
Yeah,
so
and-
let's talk about decaf real quick.
Oh boy, that's a
is
long
that
time.
really
Yeah.
is that really no caffeine in that?
So I mean, there are trace amounts in decaf coffee, just a little bit of caffeine here and there. But the processes of decaf coffee are really interesting,
Mhm.
and I don't want to get too far
That's
into it
okay.
because there's so many different proprietary methods. But frankly, I mean, decaf is great, and I think decaf gets a bad rep
It
in the
does.
industry because so many times it doesn't really taste good. And there are avenues though where you can get some really amazing decaf, and you know, we pride ourselves in looking for those types of coffees.
Mhm.
Something that can help, I think, retrace somebody's steps in terms of what their expectations of coffee are, and maybe how can we expand those expectations long term.
So you're the head roaster.
Yep.
So what does that mean?
So it means I push the buttons, make the coffee turn brown. But I also source all the
What
coffee.
color is it usually?
It starts green.
Oh,
Kind of like
Uh-huh.
gold
Really?
Yeah.
green. It is like a raw seed
Okay.
of the fruit, and then we buy it and roast it.
Okay.
So yeah, I do all of the sourcing and green buying
Mhm.
and roasting at Coffee House. You're mentioning decaf.
Yeah.
Decaf specifically, a lot of the perception of decaf is of like the absolute cheapest bean, because a lot of places that carry decaf don't prioritize it. They don't want it to be,
Well, how
an
many
expensive
people?
coffee.
How many people
Yeah.
drink decaf? Really?
So at our
I mean-
cafe, 6%.
Okay.
I know that off the top of my head.
That is a good, yeah. That was
Yeah, so it is a smaller, representation of the population, but
Plus, there's
I
the
don't.
stigma of decaf, right?
Right.
People are always like, "I'll have decaf," and everyone's like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Right? It's so funny.
And I think it's just, I think there's room for it to be celebrated still.
Okay.
The same way that people make like non-alcoholic beers and
Mhm.
wines and things of that nature. Like it's something for somebody, and I think that person likes to be and feel recognized.
So, can you tell? Can you guys tell when something's decaf?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
There's
yeah.
a pretty distinctive funk that
Okay.
comes with
Yeah,
decafs.
right, yeah.
But we choose to buy only EA processed decafs, which it stands for ethyl acetate. It's just basically a chemical solution
Okay.
derived from the sugars of fruits and vegetables
Mm-hmm.
that strips the decaf off the coffee. So it's a more natural process with a little less risk than other more traditional decaf processing.
Okay.
And it produces like a sweeter cup with a little less of that funk.
Chemical. Some decaf processes are very chemical intensive, so it's best we try to avoid those.
Right, for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to come clean. How do you guys feel about K cups?
So here's my thing
Do you
about
make K cups?
So I don't personally make K-Cups myself. I think there's two objective truths in the coffee world, right?
Okay,
I think
all
we
right.
can all agree
All
on
right,
this.
tell me.
I think that fresh roasted coffee is better objectively.
For sure.
And I think that freshly ground coffee is objectively better as well. And if we can chase those two variables,
Mhm.
I think we can come to an agreement on where K-Cups feel. Because to me and you, there's this level of utilitarian, like I drink my coffee for my caffeine or I drink my coffee for my flavor. And there's somewhere in the middle
between?
that we're going to meet at. And
Right.
so for those who love Keurigs and other K-Cup machines, I don't think they're wrong for thinking that way.
Okay.
I just think that there are steps that people can make in the right direction that could help them chase like their dream cup of coffee. And so for a system like that, like I use a system that's similar at home. It's called an X Bloom.
Okay.
And what that is it's a similar machine, a little like make a little pour over, automatic everything. But the difference is that I'm just going in and it does the grinding and the pouring and everything. So there's a couple extra steps,
Okay.
but I think it's more interesting for me as like a coffee nerd
Oh, for sure.
to chase something like that. But I have no problems with K-Cups. I always say that if somebody can source from like a local roaster though,
Right.
the Keurig machines, they sell like the reusable pods.
Yes. And I do
And
have
those are-
those.
yeah.
I will.
And those
admit
are
that.
always great.
Right,
It's a
for
great
sure.
first step in the
Right.
right direction.
So funny story. My grandfather, who got me into coffee years ago, right? Because it was more about the conversations
right.
and the coffee. But every time I would try to make him a cup of coffee, he would be drinking it, and he would, kind of take a sip, and then he'd pour it out in the sink behind him and say, "This is the worst coffee ever." And so, truth be told, I don't know how to make a cup of coffee. I have never made a cup of coffee in my life. I have always had somebody else make it,
Yeah.
or the K cups.
That's totally fine too. I think frankly, like there's so many learning moments in
Mhm.
coffee, but really this is everything. But so many beverages in America specifically, we're so used to like having it RTD, like
Yes.
ready to drink.
Yep.
And there's a great convenience in that factor. But the coffee, like anything else, it's something that somebody will nerd out about at some point and like kind of learn about it. And
Right.
there's no great way where I can just be like, here's your definitive recipe because there's so many variables. It's not just like an RTD product. There's water and there's grinding and temperature of water and like all of these different variables
Right.
that make your coffee great or bad or somewhere in the
Or
middle.
somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
And it really falls on to somebody to be interested enough to go down that rabbit hole.
okay. And
Yeah.
we know there is a lot of rabbit holes with coffee.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Okay. So you guys have a cafe.
Yes.
Okay. Where's it at?
So I was just going to say that
Yes.
because if someone is looking for a
Yes.
good cup of coffee,
They can
then we
find
can go
it.
and do that. So we have a cafe at the Somerset Collection
Mhm.
here in Southeast Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm sure many listeners are familiar.
Mhm.
And so Somerset is an amazing spot for us. For us, I think it's really interesting because we're located on the south side of the mall, right where that Starbucks used to be.
Yes.
And for anybody who knows the south side of the mall, it's surrounded by some of the largest and most amazing brands in the world.
Mhm.
And I think there's this bifurcation between the two sides of the mall. And I
Mhm.
think that from a branding perspective, Starbucks is on the north side, but they have a coffee house on the south side.
Yes.
And I've always thought of that as a really great jumping point into somebody who maybe is more interested in chasing that level of quality, having a nicer cup than something on the north side or having a little extra step towards that hospitality. How can we provide that extra level of care for
Well, you
somebody
knew
there.
that 6% of your customers drink decaf, so I guess there's the customer service.
We
right
like
there,
to
right?
we like to stay tuned into our customers,
cool.
and so right now we actually have a temporary location there. So we're next door because our existing location, prior, is all under construction. So we're doing a full remodel, like ground up, new
Mhm.
floors, new walls, new glass all the way around, and we have a kitchen now in the back that's
cool.
3 times the size. So not only are we going to be able to make better coffee and more
Mhm.
efficient coffee, but what we're going to be able to do is turn out a really strong food program as well. So we have some really amazing partners and just some really great things that I think that side of the mall and largely Southeast Michigan can take advantage of in a good way.
Very cool. Okay, so that is at Somerset. Are you looking for employees?
Yeah, so we will be looking out for employees in
Okay.
the next coming weeks too. So if anybody does, our website it's Coffee HAUS, it's Coffee House, and our website is coffeeha.us. So if
Okay.
anyone wants to visit there, they can fill out the form submission, and we can put you in contact with the right person.
Okay, awesome. And then do you sell your coffee online?
We do, yeah. So
Okay.
we sell everything online, and then it's also available in a ton of local grocers, markets, like the Plums and the like Woodward Corner markets. All of those
I
places
hang
you
out.
can find it. It's a great spot. Yeah.
Did you see the new? They have a library in there now.
Well, oh, I haven't seen
It is
that.
crazy. I was shopping the other day and I'm like, is that an ice cream machine? And I'm like, oh wait, I guess I can get a library book.
That's
It
crazy.
is, yeah, at
Yeah.
Woodward Corners. It is amazing. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
so get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Get a book.
Do it all.
Do it
Yeah,
all. You
right.
can get it all done. Well, thanks you guys. Seriously, pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you, and the coffee is really good. So I
Yeah,
can tell
thank you so
that
much.
So thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
it. Okay.
absolutely.
And I will see you again soon, right?
Yes.
All
yeah,
right. Thank you.
Cool.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
Thanks. So that is Luke, and then we've got Evan, and now we are getting close to our end time, but Jason is coming on because hi,
Hi.
how's it going?
Good.
Good. So there's been a lot going on.
There is.
There's-
And before we get started on the giveaway, which is cool, I'm going to bring Dr. Coogan up here.
Oh,
And on the Wings of Angels.
Oh,
On
what's
up.
happening?
And Dr. Coogan has something he wants to say.
Hi, Jojo. I was so moved listening to your therapist talk about your mission with Wings of Angels that the Nerve and Disc Institute would like to donate $25 for every new patient that starts between now and the end of the year.
Wow, that's so awesome.
That is so-
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's so awesome. Thank you. That's very kind. I really appreciate that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
guys.
How cool is
Thank you.
that?
I planned on
Yeah.
leaving right away, but this was so great. I had to stay.
Well, see, awesome.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank
thanks
you.
for bringing good people together.
Hey, you know what? It's what we do. Thank you. And it's all over a cup of coffee, right?
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
seriously, thank you, doctor. That is so awesome. Wow.
I am so excited about and you know what? I was at Coffee House yesterday.
I know you were there
Or the other day.
Yeah, you were there the other day.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
to buy a birthday gift and I saw it and I'm like, oh, it's open. I'm gonna go over there
Yeah.
and get a
How
coffee.
awesome
It
was
was
it?
awesome.
Yeah, see? So Luke and Evan, thank you so much for your
Yes.
awesome
I was
coffee,
just
right?
saying yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, the other day.
So yeah, so we've got that was very exciting, Dr. Kogan
Mhm.
and on the Wings of Angels. And this is what's so cool about this show. And this is what has happened, I think now 12 times where there have been major collaborations that
Yeah.
have come from people networking at the show, which is so cool to see. So I appreciate that. And one day I hope to have a actual show about all those collaborations,
That would be kind of cool.
right? I mean, because there's so
Yeah.
many. And so, yeah, so we're going to put that out there. So if you've met at a networking event here at the show and you've ended up with a collaboration, I know
Reach
there's
out.
athletic wear that has come out of
Mhm.
it. I mean, there's been some really cool things. So
It really is.
please reach out. And of course, Barbie and all of that with VOA, just so many things. So
So, After Dark is happening.
After Dark is happening. Yes. Our Caffeinated Conversations After Dark show is happening December 9th. Right here at the Palladium, but it's going to be a holiday extravaganza because we are going to have vendors. So you can shop, you can sip, and you can watch the show. Of course, After Dark is more about relationships a little bit. So we'll be
more loose, more laid
yeah,
back.
it's just, it's less, but it's a lot of fun. So that is coming up December 9th right here at the Imagine Palladium. And our giveaway for November is actually 2 tickets.
2 tickets to it. And it's a priceless. It's a
It
priceless
is a
giveaway.
priceless giveaway.
If you haven't been to an After Dark, you have to come to an After Dark. So those of you in the audience, if you haven't been to an After Dark, come to After Dark on the 9th because they're a lot of fun. It's kind of almost open mic at some point.
No singing though. We're
No
not going to sing.
singing, but you can ask questions. You can do stuff like that. Brooke
Yeah,
talks
it's cool.
to different people.
It's very cool.
And in order to win those tickets, all you got to do is go on to this show or any of the social medias connected to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, and you want to tag 3 friends, you want to share the show, you want to like the page, of course, like or follow the page, and make a comment. Show season 2.
Craziness,
I
right?
can't believe it's been, what is that, 54 shows?
Yes. So we started with season 2, episode 2, but really it's 54.
Yeah. But it's been a journey and it's been fun. I love
Yeah,
it.
right. It is
Yes.
so awesome. So thank you so much. I know we're getting close on time, but Alex, as always, thank you.
Yeah.
Barbie, as always, and everyone here in the audience, thank you so much. We have one more giveaway,
Oh, we
right?
do,
So yeah,
yes.
we have one more giveaway. So okay, I'm gonna let Jason pick a
Me?
number. Yeah,
Pick a
you
number?
pick a number.
How about 5?
We always pick them. Oh,
Yeah, bring them up. See who it is.
oh, I know who that is.
Who is And I tell you guys, I get my hair cut at Six Salon, and so you have to go.
Hi.
How are
You weren't expecting this today, were
No,
you?
I wasn't at all. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Great
So,
show.
thank you. Go ahead and sit down for a second because
Sure.
this is Chef.
Yep.
Johnny.
Yep,
From the restaurant name.
From
is-
Alchemy and Johnny
From-
Speakeasy in
yes.
Royal Oak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so thank you so much for coming. And I was there last week. It's an amazing, amazing restaurant, amazing wine.
We studied in a Sauvignon Blanc
We
last
did.
week.
We did.
From around the world.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
We understand
Big
now
wine
what
glasses.
Marlboro tastes versus France versus California. Everybody
And
should know that,
yes,
by the
yeah,
way.
I was like, sure, you lost me at Napa, but okay, whatever. But yeah. So I'm so glad you came. And
Thank
of
you.
course, we were talking about the After Dark show.
Yeah.
You are scheduled to be on that show.
I'm planning on it.
Yes, you're scheduled to be on the show because we're going to be talking about date night and
Yep.
wines and just the holidays coming up and how you can woo somebody or not.
That's our
woo
specialty.
somebody.
We are
That's
a
your
date night
specialty.
place.
And the
Yeah.
Speakeasy. How
for sure.
cool is that?
Yeah. No, we're gonna have a ball.
And you actually need a code to get in that, don't you?
You have to have a secret code to get
Secret
into our
code to get in
speakeasy.
I love
That's
that.
right.
I know, right?
And some directions because
Yes.
it's not that easy to find.
No, it's you get lost on the way.
an
so
adventure.
it is an adventure.
It's an adventure, yeah.
So I'm so excited that you are here and that
Thank you.
and that you won something.
I'm thrilled. There you go, man. Didn't expect that's the way to start a Monday.
I know,
Much
right?
better than that's the way to
Exactly.
start a Monday.
All right, so we will see you on December 9th
That sounds
after
great.
dark, right?
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Jason, thank you.
know.
All right,
Thank you.
and thank you everybody for being here. What a great show and so much going on, and I just appreciate each and every one of you. Until next week, keep the coffee hot. We'll see